Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Trogdor, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We've got another PTL game right here ahead of us. It's now week 7, and our opponent is Raven in the Destined Lucarios, a former runner-up to the championships of Division 3, so now in D2, of course, that sweet promotion that we didn't get up to D1, but we're looking to get that. We were off by like one game. So we're looking to keep up the winning. We, of course, did pretty well in our Week 6 game, which I was just uploaded 2 days ago and played like the day before this game happened. So yeah, got a lot of recording and battles to catch up on, but you know, such is life. Anyway, my opponent has a pretty interesting team with the likes of Tyranitar, Mega Gardevoir, Greninja, Latios, Gligar, Dugtrio, Lantern, Typenol, Buzzwole, Quillfish, Stoutland, Talon, and Talonflame. So, kind of top-heavy in my opinion with the T-Tar, the Gardevoir, the Gren, the Latios, which actually do kind of good against me. Like, T-Tar just, like, stops so many things. Greninja is actually fantastic against my Raincore if he decides to bring in, like, Scarf or Specs or something. Latios can be a threat. Gardevoir is just like, how do I switch into that? And then he actually has some really decent bulk in Lantern and Typenol, which it's kind of budget bulk, but my opponent's been bringing it a lot, and like, you know, lots of Toxic, lots of leftovers. And then, oh look, a Sandcore, which, you know, maybe there might be some weather wars happening this game. And then, you know, so Buzzwole's kind of scary. Gligar is just, well, to me, Gligar is just kind of annoying and more of a, what do you call it, liability than anything else. So we see what I'm starting out with here. We are starting out with the very first Pokemon ever created, Mew. So Mew's purpose here is to get up some rocks and potentially like 1v1 the T-Tar, because I don't want to play around with Tyranitar. It kind of stops my it stops quite a few things, because number one, it's got the sand, so I want my weather up. I want my weather, not sand. I only want rain. It also like stops Lele really hard. Good check to Tornadus, so I want to be able to like do some damage to it. It's the biggest threat to my team, obviously. I'm going to be talking a lot about it. But mostly it's here to get like, you know, rocks and stuff, which, you know, that's what it's actually best at for my team. So next up I have my Mega Scizor. And Mega Scizor is actually like really, really fantastic this game. So Mega Scizor, Bullet Punch and U-Turn are, with the exception of, I believe, Gligar and Lantern, and maybe Buzzwole too, basically like a lot of his big threats are just straight up like O-Code or 2-Code by Scizor. I was debating doing like a Swords Dance Roost Dual Stab set, but I opted to bring Knockoff instead and be a little bit bulkier. But U-Turn's doing a ton of damage to the likes of Gardevoir. It O-Codes Gren. It does a ton to Latios. Dugtrio doesn't appreciate it. The momentum that I can grab with Scizor is just fantastic. My attack investment is such that Bullet Punch will 2-hit KO the Tyranitar and still O-Code the Gardevoir. But U-Turn's like also doing that. I'm mostly going to be U-Turning with this because I want to grab momentum to switch into my Raincore, to switch into my Lele, which you'll see in a sec. And hopefully I can grab a knockoff on his bulkier things. Like if I can get rid of Lantern's leftovers, Typenol's Eviolite, if Tyranitar has like the Smooth Rock for the Stoutland, if Gren is, you know, choice in some manner, that's going to be annoying for me. But overall, a fantastic Pokemon that I absolutely need to keep around if I have any chance to survive. Next up is Tornti, which is another Pokemon that's like really great for me this game. You'll notice no item, which I'm doing intentionally because I want to be physical this game with acrobatics. My flying stab is otherwise just kind of poo-poo. Like it's flying is just such a tough thing to have good stabs for. Like, what else could I bring? Aerial Ace? Nah, I want to just like go no item, because I was debating between like Life Orb, Assault Vest, Expert Belt, blah blah blah. It's like, or I could just have double the power with Acro. U-Turn, Brick Break, and Knockoff is actually fantastic like coverage overall from my opponent's team. Gonna be snagging recovery, or momentum and recovery thanks to the regen. I think besides Talonflame, I outspeed everything naturally which makes me think that his Gren is Scarf. I'm doing some like weird speed creeping things. Like I could be, or no, Gren outspeeds me by literally 1, so I'm dropping down to a Scarf, dropping down to, I want to say this is Latios or something. I've got some weird speed creeping things going on in this game. It's a little bit like too big brain expansion to deal with properly. But anyway, that's Torn T. It's going to be really huge for me. So next up is Tapu Lele. So I thought about just like slapping on a Scarf, but I figured like that set's a little bit too crazy. Like I don't want to be going like, I want to come up with creative sets, but that to me was just like a little bit too out there. Like putting Scarf on Lele, that just seemed like a little bit too outlandish for me this game. So instead of being sub Calm Mind Psychic Moonblast, I don't really need more than my dual stab, to be quite honest. I could have Focus Mist for the Tyranitar, but T-Tar is just kind of scary. I'd much rather get like a sub, go for a Calm Mind as it goes for the Pursuit or something, and then go for the, what is it, +1 Moonblast as he breaks my sub. But yeah, Tyranitar is just so tough. I really can't bring in Lele until T-Tar is gone. But otherwise, like, my dual stab is just fantastic. I donk the Latios, I donk the Gren, both with Moonblast. Maybe Gardevoir can take a hit or two. But yeah, Buzzwole's gone, Quillfish is gone, Stoutland is gone. It's just kind of fantastic. And especially because I can force so many switches with the Lele, getting the sub is actually going to be kind of beneficial, easy to get for me. So hopefully, if it's like late game and a lot of things are weakened and I've identified as fast things, this can put in the work. Otherwise, this is just going to be like a clean get rid of something and do it fast. And next up, I have my Rancor, starting with Pelipper, and I'm actually rocking a Scarf on Pelipper. I think this is the second week in a row that I'm doing it, but this time I noticed that I outspeed Gren by 1, which is like goody, because Gren is a huge problem for my team, but I just bop it with a U-turn. Well, not bop it, but do a lot of damage and then again go into like something like my Sizzle or something like my Torn T takes a hit very well. And actually my Kingdra switches into Gren pretty well as in addition. So Kingdra is just like insanely good this game. I thought about doing like a setup variant, just like during my 2 turns of rain, just like get up a couple Dragon Dances and then, oh no, I'm even more scary. But I just decided to go all out attacker because like if he gets up the stand, I don't know, the stand is just making it really annoying for my Rancor to work properly. That's why I was debating doing the Dragon Dance instead, but I really want it to be special too, because like Surf, Draco, Flash Cannon, Ice Beam is just like doing so much damage to his entire roster that I just figured that was overall best. So game plan is basically do a bunch of work with Scizor, get up rocks with Mew. Get momentum with Torn T and Pelipper as well. I've got some fast U-turners and a slow U-turner, so it's going to make it easier to get into the likes of Lele, into the likes of Kingdra, and just do all that jazz. So in just like 8 seconds, we're going to get on into the battle. So yeah, I'll see you in just a little bit for that. And here we are. So we see right away what my opponent decided to bring. And that is the Greninja, obviously, Tyranitar, Dodoy, Lantern, and Type Null, like, yeah, I kind of figured. And then the Buzzwole, interesting. Kind of surprised to see the Dugtrio, in all honesty, because my Rancor just, like it just gets dropped. Like, Kingdra, I want to say that I EV'd this for Scarf Dugtrio or something, or... No, I couldn't catch the Scarf Gren. Oh, wait, if I can't catch the Scarf Gren, then I can't catch the Scarf Dugtrio, so... But... yeah, still kind of curious to see that because, you know, it's not going to do a whole lot to my Kingdra. But anyway, so oh, geez, I kind of forgot what I was going to lead. I want to say I lead with Rhydon right here. And yeah, I do. I want to be on this side, though. So I lead Rhydon thinking I'm going to grab my rocks, but he leads Gren. So I think like, oh boy, water move incoming. So me being the like big brain genius that I am, I decide to go into Pelipper to give him the rain boost for his Surf or Hydro Pump or something. So I take and he got a crit. Like, ow. So what could have been, what I could have avoided a 2-hit KO from Surf. Like, I calc that unless he was Specs, I could have lived 2 of those. But, you know, yay! But I think like, oh, this is still fine. I can still get the fast U-turn, and he's still got Rain Up, and Kingdra can tank that hit pretty well. So he's probably like expecting me to go straight into Kingdra. So if he's choice, he'll probably like switch into something else, or if he wants to try to predict that, go for the Ice Beam. But I'm going to go for the U-turn because I'm faster than he is, so that's great. Okay, so my worst fear came true. That is in fact Scarf Gren. Pelipper is gone, and I only have one chance to make Kingdra work. But as he has Scarf, Kingdra does not outspeed because I can't catch that at a +2. So I've got to kind of panic around this. So already, like, very early on in the game, I'm kind of tilted because I wasn't expecting well, I was half expecting that in prep, but yeah. So I go into Scizor. I can actually 2-hit KO with the Bullet Punch, but Buzzwole takes that so well. I'm hoping, because I'm like not very well speed invested with my Scizor, I'm hoping that he might be able to, I might be able to get a slow U-turn off. I love getting the slow U-turn with Scizor. So even if he's got like the Fire Punch, I can tank that quite well in the rain. This is great. I wanted to use Scizor in the rain a lot, which is another unfortunate thing that Pelipper's gone so early. He actually goes for the Hammer Arm. It's kind of cool to know that he has that, but I've got the slow U-turn, and I get a free switch into Lele, so I can get my sub for free as he goes into the Type Null. So I throw up a sub right here, and I can grab a Calm Mind next turn. So hopefully I can set up on this thing. I don't know if he's going to try to go for a Toxic or what, but the return breaks my sub, obviously. My Fizz-Def isn't that great, and I do 49% with the Psychic. So Type Null is bulky as heck. I had it like one season, but I dropped it soon. But yeah, I forgot. Just the 95 defenses boosted with the Eviolite. Like, ow. So I don't want to stay in and risk the Psychic and lose my Lele so early on. Like, getting this amount of damage on Type Null is great, but given that it's still a roll to kill from here, I don't want to take that risk. So rather, I'm going to go into Rhydon to take the return. Like, yeah, that's cute. Like, that's really cute. And get up my rocks here. He goes for the U-turn. That's fine. As I get my rocks, Gren comes in, and haha, I'm not going to give you a Rain Boost this time. And Surf is doing, like, nothing to my Kingdra. So I'm just going to fire off a huge Draco right here. It's... So... yeah, like he didn't bring Gardevoir, which kind of surprised me. So it's just so easy for Kingdra to fire off a Draco Meteor, which outside of rain, like, it's still doing a ton. I was hoping to catch something like the what was I hoping to catch with that? I don't know. It would have been cool to get the Dugtrio or something, but I do a lot of damage with the Draco. I could potentially KO with a second one if it lands. But I decide for some reason to go for the Surf right here, which he lives on 1 and goes for the U-turn. So he is dead upon impact to the rocks, which is great to know. Lantern comes in, but I can go into Scizor just as easily. Luckily, he goes for the Toxic and not something dumb like the Whirlpool. And I can freely go for a knockoff, knock something off, but he goes into the Null. No, actually, I go for the Roost because that's cool. He goes into the Buzzwole, which, once again... if he does have the Fire Punch, it is doing quite a lot more, but I can still live it and go for the slow U-turn, but more likely than not, I don't know. He actually misses a Hammer Arm. That's kind of, that sucks, but I can get the slow U-turn once again, and now do something with my Torn T, which is go for the Acrobatics, and that's doing a ton to that. So, once again, I've got another knockoff because... well, for one thing, Type Null is gone. I need to remember to take things off the screen that I KO. Where did it go? Type Null. Yeah, bye. So, Torn T, I can go for a knockoff freely. If I can get rid of this Lantern's leftovers, or Gren's Scarf, or whatever T-Tar has, or whatever. I think Buzzwole is also leftovers as well. And, he's not... yeah, so knockoff gets the crit. That's, yeah, ow. And Volt Switch is doing a... pretty big chunk to me. So I don't know if he knows that I know he's Scarf, but I know that he's Scarf, so him switching in right here, I am, I know he's probably going to go for an Ice Beam or something. And I have both Scizor and Kingdra are decent switches for me at this time. So yeah, Ice Beam's not doing a whole lot. He goes into T-Tar here, and I'm once again going to be able to fire off a Draco Meteor. That does a decent chunk, and So I do some calculations right here, and I realize that even after my special attack drop, based on the damage that Draco did, my Z Hydro Pump should be able to take out. No, I'm not Hydro Pump. I'm Surf. My Hydro Vortex should be able to take out this Tyranitar right here, and just like, or it might be a roll, or it might be like 1% or something, but I'm just going to go for that move right there, which is great because I live the pursuit and I go for the big damage. Hydro Vortex and T-Tar is gone. So that's a huge threat for his team that is gone now. It makes the life of Tapu Lele just so much easier. And what do you call it? Yeah, it was kind of a ballsy play, but I do go down to sand, so it's a double down there. Kingdra is gone. But I'm able to go back into Scizor. Greninja cannot really touch me. He goes for the U-turn to go into something, and I'm going to get the Ultra Momentum from that. Oh, I actually go for the knockoff. I kind of thought he would stay in, but, I'm going to go for the U-turn again right here as he goes for the Roost. That's fine. I can go into... I could have gone into Tornti or Lele, but given that... why didn't I go into Lele here? It would have been like a free sub, and... yeah, I don't know. Go into Tornti here. Hoping I can catch something with a knockoff right here. He does, in fact, go into the Lantern. Like, he can just sack that freely. I go for the Acrobatics, but it doesn't really matter. Sandstorm is gone for good. That's great. And once again, Scizor, he's got the Ice Beam, and I can go for the U-turn, the knockoff. Scizor is just doing some wonders for me. Roost, rather. So we do this dance again, and this time, I believe I go into Lele. Because I can, so I could go for the sub right here. He saw that I did that the last time. So I'm hoping this time that I can kind of catch him and go for the Moonblast. Because Greninja drops to the Moonblast. Dugtrio takes a pretty chunk of damage. And I'm pretty sure Buzzwole drops. He's or I'm hoping that he's going to predict me to go for the Psychic or something to switch into Gren. So I'm just going to go for the Moonblast right here. Buzzwole, in fact, just drops to that, so another thing that's just gone. Buzzwole's gone. Lantern's gone. So we're sitting pretty at 4-2. But he's able to go into the Dugtrio for my Lele, so EQ, Lele's gone, sad face, sadness. So, yeah, he, for some reason, like, I don't know why he... went for the EQ again. That's obviously like a Scarf Dugtrio, which is interesting. Knock off his Scarf. I don't know why he went for the stayed in and did that, but I was totally expecting him to switch, and then figuring that like after he goes into Gren right there, I could knock it off and just kind of win from there. But that's fine. I'm able to live the Rock Slide anyway, barring a flinch, so I go for another knockoff. But this time Gren's able to come in, and right now, so it's basically GG at this point, because he either goes for the, what do you call it? He goes for the Ice Beam to catch my Torn, but Scizor can like tank that for good, or he goes for the Surf to try to catch my Scizor, and Torn could have tanked that, but after like a couple rounds of regen, I would be able to just come in and go for the U-turn. Would have changed differential, but yeah, I'm able to go into Scizor pretty freely. And yeah, Ice Beam's just not doing anything at all to me, unless he gets a freeze right here or something. But yeah, my U-turn just takes out that Greninja, and I pick up the 3-0. So good game to my opponent. I honestly did get kind of tilted towards the beginning there, but Scizor is just such a champion that, and kind of ballsy play with Kingdra a couple times versus the T-Tar, and rocks are super helpful, especially for getting some residual damage on like the type Null and the Lantern and all that jazz. So yeah, good game to my opponent. I think we rise up now to what is it, 4-2? Yeah, we're 4-2 now, which is pretty cool. Still like top half of the league. There's some people who are just pulling way ahead, so still got some catch up to play. But yeah, that's not a bad place to be sitting. Wait, 4-2? How many? It's week 7, so I must be 4-3. Yeah, either way, we're sitting pretty. Season's more than halfway over, so yeah, not a bad place to be. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to check out other stuff coming from me pretty soon. And if you've got anything else to say, comment down below. So that's all I've got for today, and I'll see everyone on the next one. Take care now. Bye-bye.